And okay, we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Ashley and One Eye and Samir and Kristen and Irelby, Spicy Phoenix had sarcastic. Hello, everybody. Um, believe it or not, we did not get any snow week where I am. That was all south of us. We were just very cold and very dry. So, Uh, we were preparing thinking we would get snow, but it all went south of us, about, I think, starting about an hour south of us, because I think in Natchitoches they got snow. If you see it on the map, it looks like Natchitoches, but it's actually Natchitoches. And you live there long enough, because I did on the campus there. You figure out all the nicknames like Nakatrash, Nacho Tochis. Um, but yeah, so I think from about there south they got snow. Um, Funny thing is, I was reading that Florida has gotten more snow this month than Alaska or something like they beat somewhere in
New
Alaska.
Orleans had more snow than Anchorage.
Yeah. They beat
That's
Anchorage.
messed up, man.
Yeah. They beat Anchorage, Alaska. So that's how topsy turvy it is. And there are still fires going on in California, and so it makes me think of that joke about the statistician, someone who runs statistics. You put their head in the oven, their feet in the freezer, and they'll say, "On average, I feel fine." You know, but that's not to make light of what's going on in California, or folks in Florida who are freezing with all that snow, because citrus is very important down there, and that's probably not going to bode well for the citrus crops. So,
Right. You put that on top of the fact that one of Florida's biggest citrus farms, 2 weeks before the snow here, closed up shop permanently forever.
Yeah, and a lot of people depend on that, because our flaky friend that we love so much that apparently you heard from.
Yes, I did.
So I'm glad to know she's okay enough to communicate. But her longtime partner, I guess it was one of those it's complicated things. He worked for a citrus plant for a long time, and so that for a lot of people that's their livelihood. So our prayers are with the folks who are going to be affected by things like that. So yeah, neat. Well, I think it's IE, but it doesn't matter. um uh yeah Once I did the fuck off that Christian. um Hit the bot. Okay. Yeah. Somebody was asking, did they put the link in the chat and in the Discord server for the service? Um, I really appreciate that you guys actually put those up anytime we I drop a new video or something like that. And I am working on this month's video. I'm hoping to have it go on Patreon early in the week next week, and then it'll go live. Depending on how I get it set up, it'll be like after service, next week, or maybe on Saturday or something.
Awesome.
Oh I had fun recording the voiceover for it, and there will be some flubs in the outtakes. So,
yeah, I didn't get to participate.
There will be other mischief we'll get you involved in. So don't worry. I've actually been working on. Yeah, like
Allergies.
you were fake crying. You were going to start fake crying.
Thank you.
He does that.
I'm sorry.
I did that to you in our 28 years together. I've done that to you once. How many times do you do it? Anyway, I have been working on scripting things, so I know what we're doing for the rest of the year for videos. I'm working on some viewer requests. It's kind of hard for me to keep track of them all because I'd have to go and like read comments on like I don't know how many videos I have now, but I've got a few and I'm working on them, and like I said, hopefully one of them will be up next week. So in the meantime, we're honoring a feast for Wadjyt and a going forth for Djehuty. And I tell you what, I have been seeing lots of white egrets, snowy egrets around this week, and I wonder if Djehuty has been, on the move. But the reason why we know as much as we do about Wadjyt, I think sometimes it's better you guys can't see what's on just off camera. But anyway, we know what we do about the festival calendar for Wadjyt, who is, of course, the patron goddess of the town that bears her name. It's known in Greek as Budo. There was a monument set up by Thoth III, basically giving endowments for the temple and saying that they will receive the rations and the grain stores and the things that they need in order to have offerings for, and then it laid out all the specific feasts. And so we know about the full moon feasts, the new moon feasts, but there were 4 major feasts through the year that were not tied to the lunar cycle, or New Year's. They were specific feasts for Wadjyt. So that's how we know about, there's 4 of them through the year. And the 22nd is one of those feast days. So it just by happenstance, we, have preserved a monument that tells us something about what the festival calendar for her temple was like. And my hope is that we find more of those from more temples, throughout the country. What I would love to know is what the festival calendar in Heliopolis in Unu would have looked like, because there probably would have been stuff going on all the time. But
is there any chance that we're going to find something where one of the temples is like every day is a party?
Well, not every day, because hosting a party takes a lot of work. But there were parties every month. So,
because I just keep waiting to see Kiss in a relief, rock and roll all night.
And party every day. Yeah. And party every day. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, nice. It's funny. It's Katie got to see some bald eagles. The funny thing is, there are some bald eagles that have nested in areas close to where I live. Actually, where my grandmother used to live, she used to have a property on the lake, and it was not too far from a place where there were some bald eagles that nested. Because there are a few.
I think you can find them in Calcasieu Parish at times late in the winter.
Yeah.
Because on our camp, I think I saw a few.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any in the wild, though. But we see a lot of red-tailed hawks. The red-tailed hawks, they are very well adapted to human development, because any place where you have forest and then clearing, like an empty lot, a roadway, a pasture, that's their favorite place to hunt. So, you'll find them hanging out, watching for rodents and things, in the mornings all the time. So, if you know where to look. And so when I see them, I'm like, oh, hey, it's a birdie friend, because I think of Horace. So. But well, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Wow. Bald eagles around the Kennedy Space Center. That's very cool. Actually, somewhere in my stuff, I have a bookmark that somebody did. It was a furry artist, actually, who did something of Ra, and they drew him with a head kind of like a bald eagle. So.
I wonder why they call bald eagles bald eagles. They've got feathers.
That is because the meaning of the word bald at the time that the name was coined, it could mean white-headed. It's the mean, there was that meaning has gone out of fashion, but at the time, it was a way of saying a white-headed eagle, a bald eagle. So. Because meanings change over time, and ask anyone who says something is sick.
Yeah.
Actually, Benjamin Franklin did not think that the bald eagle should be our national bird. He argued for the turkey.
I think he may have been right.
I think he thought turkeys were smarter.
And he thought that eagles were brutish. They take what they want.
Yeah, well.
If the feather fits.
Yeah, if the feather fits. These cool waters are upon my hands, and they purify me. This technique purifies me. Hail unto you, you're not true. We come unto you without falsehood and without evil. Our purity is upon our hands. Our purity is within our hearts. And we've cast out all evil that pertains to us. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. We are pure. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling
that stuff is cold, man.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling it was going to be cold. But.
The groundwater is really cold here.
Oh yeah. Well, the tap water. See, that tap water has not been. It's not recent, but if I'd gotten something recent, it would be really cold.
Yeah, it would be worse.
Yeah. So.
Jeez.
Yeah. Poor thing. I'm sorry.
Remember, you are loved.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sarcastic says, Darren might be happy to know that I turned my water on too cold. I was guided by the cool waters this time, LOL.
Good. Suffer in love.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm also thinking of our friends in the southern hemisphere because they're getting to their hot season.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, and there's been they're figuring out just how much coral has been bleached, off the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's sad because the Great Barrier Reef is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on film.
Yeah.
No, it looks like an old lady's bad dye job.
Okay, I'm trying to concentrate here.
You're welcome.
If you need an evocative metaphor for something, Darren is the person to ask. Meanwhile, speaking of eagles and hawks, come in peace, bright eye of Horus. Come, oh come in peace. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus shines like Ra in the twin horizons, and evil hides in fear of it. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
For the eye of Horus destroys the enemies of Ra in all of their abodes, till none remain. Receive the light.
Receive the light.
The eye of Horus comes to the four corners of the world, to everyone who is tuning in with us now, and has been with us in the past, and will join us in the future. This eye of Horus comes, and we are all purified with it.
Receive the light.
That's right. Yes, thank you. Receive the light. You okay? Okay. If you need my other inhaler, I have it in my purse. I'd have to get it for you. Okay. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm going to get him an inhaler, and then we will pick up with our invocation.
At least when the air gets really cold here, it tends to be clear. It's really clear.
I think it was meant for me to step out and grab something, because I've been rereading through the wisdom literature, because we had mentioned some things about that it's a prior conversation in the week, but I've been reading through that, and I might have some things to share later on. But let's go ahead and get started. And Darren will be back in just a few minutes. You arise in the Archetis Capri, O Ra, spreading your light upon the earth. You set in peace in the mountains of Manu as a tomb, bringing your light to Duat. Shine upon earth as you do in heaven and Duat. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who came from noon at the first time, for such is your uniqueness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Hu at your left side, for such are the words you commanded. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who placed Sia at your right side, for such is your great wisdom. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, whose Hika goes before you, for such is your ability. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra, who rules with Ma'at upon your brow, for such is your righteousness. Hail and praise unto you, O Ra. Hail and praise unto you, O Wadjyt, Djehuty, O Yunachuru, you lords of love and lords of life. Grant us life, well-being, and health. May our eyes perceive your goodness and our hearts receive your wisdom. May you shine upon us as you traverse the sky, that we may bring to you Ma'at and cast out his fet. May you guard us from the evil one through the dark hours of the night, your protection being before us and your strength being within us. And let's light our candles that we have over here. Because Djehuty is a little hard to see, but we have a nice candle of him. We ask him to bless all of our students who are starting a new semester, and those of us that are writing books and doing other things. All of our programmers and admin, for they all do Djehuty's work. And we also light our candle for Sekhmet, that she may bring peace and healing and strength to those who need it. Take these, your cool waters, which are the inundation, that they may cool your hearts. Wadjyt, these cool waters are the eye of Horus, that your hearts may be refreshed. Milk, milk, may you taste it in your shrine. May your hearts be refreshed with it. We bring you this milk from the great flood, Wadjyt, that you may be purified with it. We give you incense. We give you incense, great purity. This incense is the eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. It cleanses you and adorns you. It takes its place upon your hands. Wadjyt, we give to you this eye of Horus, and its fragrance comes to you. Take this, your bread on which gods live. This bread is the eye of Horus, Wadjyt. Lift it to your faces and be at peace with it. It may be winter for some of us now, but it will soon be spring. The gardens prosper and Hapi rejoices, overflowing with his meal. We fill the eye of Horus for you with wine, O Ra, Wadjyt, Djehuty, Wadjyt. Drink and be pure. The doors of heaven and the doors of earth are open with libations for you within this house. May your faces be refreshed with your libations, your wine and your water. Pure, pure is Ra-Horeketi within his house. Pure, pure is Wadjyt, Mistress Ibuta, within her house. Pure, pure is Djehuty, Lord of Kemetic, within his house. Pure are the cause of all of these gods, with this good myrrh that is given. Djehuty proclaims it, and it is written in his house of sacred words. Hapi gives in abundance, thousands of offerings, all things good and pure, for Ra-Horeketi, for Wadjyt, for Djehuty, in every place that their immortal cause dwell. Come to your body, O Ra-Horeketi. Come to your body, O Wadjyt. Come to your body, O Djehuty. Come to your bodies, O Wadjyt, and come to your invocation. Come unto us, your servants, who are mindful of your feasts and your offerings. Bring your power, your hika, your honor, and your ba to these your offerings, and partake of them. Come, O people, raise these offerings before the faces of these gods. Lift the offerings before Ra, before Wadjyt, before Djehuty. All life comes from them. All health comes from them. All stability comes from them. All good fortune comes from them, as it has since the first time. O Rahorketi, and your son, the Osiranisu, Nebkeprura. Your foes retreat from you, and Horus turns himself to his eye. Turn yourselves to these, your offerings, and receive them from our hands. And from the table of the gods to the table of the blessed dead, we light this candle, that it may be the eye of Horus that lights their way in Djehuty. And we pour these cool waters from the table of Osiris, that their hearts may be refreshed. Horechruta henket kakao apju senetchermahat, hutnemet nafrewabet alket notcherim, cow and nachunibu, machru hinibu kiranachra. A voice offering bread and beer, 1,000 of beef and fowl, incense, oils, and all good and pure things on which a god lives, for the cause of all of these blessed dead, all true of voice before the great God. And now we come unto you, O Ra, as Djehuty comes, our hands joined under Ma'at. Ma'at has come to be with you in every place where you are. An offering of Ma'at is made unto you, that your heart may be pleased, and your Ka shall live. Truly, your Aeneid has Ma'at, for they know you live in her. The Aeneid says unto you, your word is law, eternally. The Svet is cast out by your word. Rejoicing is yours every day, and Ma'at has taken her place in your shrine. May we always act with gentility and compassion, for such is the first Ma'at. May we always offer charity and hospitality, for such is the second Ma'at. May we always respect consent and fidelity, for such is the third Ma'at. May we always avoid violence and promote wellness, for such is the fourth Ma'at. May we always speak words of truth, for such is the fifth Ma'at. May we always promote the public good, for such is the sixth Ma'at. May we always act humbly and with temperance, for such is the seventh Ma'at. May we always honor our gods and respect others, for such is the eighth Ma'at. May we uphold Ma'at like Djehuty, that we may witness Ra's perfection every day. Okay, yeah. As soon as 5 hours. Oh, goodness. Yeah, that's right. It's really early where you're at, Kristen. But we thank you for being with us, at this odd hour. Oh wow, and Mary Jo, you got to see the Belize Reef. Yeah. Saying all his job is dead core. Oh well. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll read something for Wadjyt and something for Djehuty. Oh, just a second. I think having the heat going has affected the tuning on some of my instruments, particularly my homemade ones, because I was playing with them earlier, like a couple of days ago, and I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. So having all that heat, going, it messes with sinuses, it messes with lots of things. But, grab this system. Hail, O Wadjyt, great goddess, eye of Ra, great young feline, daughter of Ra. Hail, O Wadjyt, in your act of striking. Hail, Wadjyt, Uraeus of Ra, mistress of the sky, mistress of pay and mistress of depth. Hail, O Wadjyt, mistress of the two lands. Hail and praise unto you, O Djehuty, thrice great God, the son of Ra. Lord of Khumnu, wise one in Unu, you report to Ra every morning. Messenger of humankind, you know people by their speech and judge them by their deeds. Those true of voice before Osu, their names are in your list. The Aeneid gives you praise as you guide the bark of millions, as you cast out the evil one, as you change strife into peace. You know all secrets, all books, all deeds, the fleeting moment, the hour of night. No report to Ra is forgotten. Your words endure for eternity. Friend of the people, wise and impartial, great one, Lord of Ma'at. Yes, and I had gotten a request, a couple of requests for prayers earlier for everyone that's feeling lonely, maybe dealing with seasonal affective depression right now, those that are worried about what's been going on in the world lately and are scared about what's next. Prayers for peace and hope and confidence for all of them. And Jory's concerned about his mom's been sick. She works really hard, and she's been sick, and so we want her to find strength and healing. We ask Sekhmet to look after her, and all the moms that have to work really hard and often have to think about the health of others first before their own. May they have Mama Sekhmet looking after their health in turn. And what was it that I had found? There's something really nice that I wanted to share if I can find them. Yeah, just because there's been so much going on lately and a lot of things that people have been talking about. And certainly it's worth reiterating that this is a place of welcome for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are and where you don't fit in. You fit in here. You fit in with us. As long as you come, in peace and camaraderie, you're welcome. And this is something from the instructions of Amenemhotep. It was probably his name probably was Amen in his harem in his opet. But the way it's rendered is Amenemhotep. Do not get into a quarrel with the argumentative man, nor incite him with words. Proceed cautiously before an opponent, and give way to an adversary. Sleep on it before speaking. For a storm come forth like fire in hay is the hot-headed man in his appointed time. May you be restrained before him. Leave him to himself, and the God will know how to answer him. If you spend your life with these things in your heart, Your children will observe them. And goes on to say, the hot-headed man in the temple is like a tree grown in an enclosed space. In a moment, it loses its leaves. It reaches its end in the carpenter's shop. It is floated away far from its place, or fire is its funeral pyre. The truly temperate man sets himself apart. He is like a tree grown in a sunlit field, but it becomes verdant. It doubles its yield. It stands before its owner. Its fruit is something sweet, and its shade is pleasant, and it reaches its end in a grove. Now, what's important, I think, about that, because that's a really wonderful comparison. Someone who's, hot-headed, who is a loudmouth, especially in a temple, in a place where you're supposed to be quiet, is like a tree that's going to outgrow where it's in the wrong place to begin with, and it's going to outgrow that space, and it's not going to have a good end. But a tree that a person that is temperate, who's like we say here, acting humbly and with temperance, stands apart, but it meets its end in a grove. That means that eventually there will be other trees around it, other trees that are like it, that are in the right place, and that are people of similar temperament. So when you have all this stuff that's going on right now, try and stay away from dramas online, and I would even say, don't watch news on TV. If it's something important, it's going to get around. Like, I didn't know there was an earthquake this past weekend, but I saw somebody had posted about it. And I'm like, oh wait, where I live, there was a 3.5 earthquake. But the thing is, I think that's something that that level, it's going to feel like a heavy truck passing by. So I think I was probably doing something and didn't feel it. But the thing is, if it's really important, you'll find out about it. But if you see it on TV, they're gearing it to make you feel a certain way. I stopped watching the evening news because I realized that they structure it all to get you hooked at the beginning and have you worried, and then they kind of keep you strung along through the commercial breaks, and then they end you on some kind of a sappy, personal interest story, about kids doing good somewhere. And that's not to say that, it's, not good to, that you have kids doing, community projects, but I realized that they're toying with your emotions through the whole time, and so that's not informing you, that's entertaining you. And I think we had too much of that. So be like the temperate man that doesn't get into, online dramas. So. Okay. You know what? Yeah, some people have that problem with talking about alarm clocks and not being able to sleep. And of course, Darren jokes now that we have a Bass Pro alarm clock, which it kind of makes sense if you know what Bass Pro shops are. That's an American thing. Think like sporting goods and outdoor stuff. So I like to call it the Redneck Mall. But the joke is, because we have a duck in the house and she's not in another room, she's got her own little playpen, and when she wakes up and decides it's time for us to get up, she starts quacking, and so she's our Bass Pro alarm. Oh goodness. One of our friends has been dealing with a lot. She's dealing with a friend getting deported, losing an internship, and being unable to access antidepressants. That's a lot of stuff. If there's if there's anything that we can do, are they here in the United States, or is this in a different country? But Yeah, and you know what? I really like that. Have faith and consider the worst, but do not resign yourself to the worst case scenario. Um, and that's, I think, really good advice. But okay, friend from earlier is in the USA. If I might suggest, if anyone knows some folks that are having trouble with immigration and with the laws around that, I know somebody who is an immigration lawyer, and she's based in northernmost Arkansas, almost in Missouri, close to the home base for Walmart. And she could help, because it's federal law. She could help anybody in the U.S. So if you look up, I think so, it's Kimberly Sutton Law. Call that office and see if they can help, because that's something she can always use, the business. So I'm just going to type that out. I think it's Bentonville, Arkansas, or thereabouts. I've actually got one of her pens somewhere, but hi, ducking in. Yeah. Well, again, to talk about news, this says a little bit about how old some of us are. I was a freshman in college when they reached the verdict for O.J. Simpson, finally. And me and some friends decided, all right, we're going to see how long we can go without hearing about the news, whatever the verdict is. Let's make a contest of this and see, like Whamageddon or something. Who's going to be the last one standing? Well, unfortunately, I got nailed pretty quick, because the way my classes worked that day, I had a marathon drawing class that ran from like 8 o'clock in the morning until like 11 o'clock or 11:30, in the morning. So I'm getting out for lunch, and I'm coming to the student center looking for lunch at the same time that a whole crowd of people who had been at the opposite end of the student center watching the news got out because the verdict had been read. And so there's a whole passel of them coming through. OJ, not guilty, not guilty. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry. A couple of our friends managed to make it into the evening hours because they holed up in their dorm room. But then somebody ducked in and said something. And so the longest anybody was able to go was that evening. So, yeah, if it's really important, you will find out about it. That's just how it works nowadays. But, so, and it's funny you guys are mentioning about glaucoma. Actually, our Ducky, Indiana, does have a cataract, and it's a pretty good one in one eye now. So she's she is one of you, I guess. But I tell you what, in the house where everything is that she knows, you would almost forget that she has vision loss, until she takes a corner too tight or something, because she's adapted really well. And I find that really impressive, and it's something animals can teach us things. And especially when you see one like her that is absolutely irrepressible and figures out how to make do with what she's got. She's napping right now, but she had a great time, now that her pool was finally thawed. But if anybody's got any other prayer requests, go ahead and pass those on. And it's that time for cookies. So let's start with one for everybody. And of course, for those that are new to this, if you're on the chat, you can just put the little cookie icon if you have a request for one. That way I'll see it. And of course, it's a cookie is free. You're welcome to give us a super sticker, just out of appreciation that supports our channel. But, if you're here and you're, tuning in and sitting through all of our banter, you get to participate in the cookies. So this first one is for everyone. Okay, today's small steps lead to big achievements. So the fortune for everyone. Today's small steps lead to big achievements. And I think that's really encouraging. And especially because I'm actually working on finishing up that book for Inanna, Ishtar. And I think it would be realistic to say that it should be out for the spring of Ketu, which is going to be around the beginning of April. So here's hoping with that. And just to reiterate, because I know that there have been a lot of folks that have been concerned about, a stack of orders that got signed earlier this week. But last week's fortune said, embrace the unique qualities that make you who you are. Doesn't matter what it says on an official document. You embrace the unique qualities that make you who you are. Okay. So we'll start with Ashley Spradley. Okay, yeah, and Rebecca, so I remember learning about the Challenger in third grade, and I didn't believe the kid had told me at lunch because he was always making stuff up. It wasn't until after recess when our teacher told us, yes, you and I were in the same grade, the same kind of thing. I remember my teacher after recess telling us about it. And then we all went and we sat and we watched the news on the in the library. And so we're watching that footage repeat over and over again. And then wonder why Gen X is screwed up. Yeah. Yeah. But Ashley Spradley from Sekhmet, and then Sarana, and then Kristen from Osset. So let's get started with those. Yeah, and actually, you know what? We should include that in our prayers because the anniversary for the Challenger, disaster is within a couple of days because it was late January. And actually next year will be 40 years since it happened. And for those of us that, were alive to see that, it looms large in our mind, but especially Darren, because he grew up where he would go to Houston every summer, and he went to Space Center Houston a lot. And he actually met the gentleman that was the commander for that shuttle mission. They were doing things at Space Center Houston in the months, the summer months before the actual mission. And, it's an amazing story, but, very poignant because, he met him and then, it didn't turn out the way they expected. But Ashley Spradley. The month of January will be filled with exciting adventures. And we still have a week left, so um, so actually there could be some more exciting adventures for you. And I hope it's all good. So Sarana and then Kristen. Okay. Sarana, practice gratitude for the natural world and the environment. Practice gratitude for the natural world and the environment. Might be a time to go out and take a walk. But, okay, Kristen, and you're asking for one from Aset. So we ask Lady Aset to grant some wisdom to Kristen. Be happy. It's one way of being wise. So, Kristen from Aset, she says, be happy. It's one way of being wise. Sometimes they give us lessons to think on, but I think that one can also learn by doing. So be happy. Do some things to give you some joy. So next is King of Wicca. A fresh perspective on life is in your future. So King of Wicca, a fresh perspective on life is in your future. So I'm getting the sense that there may be something unexpected to come up. Use it as an opportunity to gain a fresh perspective, and you'll be better for it. So they're telling you heads up. Good is coming if you can make it that way. If you can learn to see the good in it and get a fresh perspective. So, Thralo. Okay. And Erelbe's it was prayers for those who seek asylum. Definitely. And like I said, if I happen to find a pen around here that has my pal's business on it, like I said, I can go and look her up. But funny thing is, during the last administration, the last Trump administration, she had seen a decline in business because there were fewer people who were trying to come into this country. But I figure, the least I can do is, refer people, and if they're trying to, get things straightened out, again, because it's federal law, it doesn't matter where you are in the country. You find somebody that'll help you. They could be in any other state and they could still, help you with your case.
And you want to go to a state that has a lesser population because they're going to have fewer numbers of people trying to get into the country,
Okay.
via application like
okay. So, well, like Arkansas.
Arkansas,
Yeah.
New Mexico, or,
Yeah.
all the places that you figure there's nobody there, like the Dakotas. Great spot.
Okay, but let's see. Thralo. And then Katie Corton asking for Set about my marriage. It's tough. We'll maybe ask Set and Nebat Hot. if they can give some advice. But let's start with Trello. A promotion at work is in your future. Trello, a promotion at work is in your future. Okay, and Katie Horton, and we're going to ask Set, and Nebahat has a plaque kind of in the back. She kind of likes staying on the down low. But I asked him. Your hard work is coming close to paying off. So, Katie, your hard work is coming close to paying off. I hope that if it doesn't pertain specifically to your relationship, I hope it pertains to something else and you're like, oh, aha. Because a lot of times we see things and we kind of have a gut feeling about, oh, that's what they're telling me about. But next is, okay, we got the Discord cookies. Konsuket and Sean would like one from Osiris. Let's see. Okay, B. It's good to see you. Okay, Nathaniel, I was busy. Okay, you well, you know what? I think you were less than a year old during Columbia. You're close in age to our adopted kids then. Because the Columbia, I remember where we were for that. We actually were in the path that it took, and I think we drove past some debris.
We did.
Yeah, because we were in Austin, Texas for an anime con the weekend when it happened, and then we were driving back up to north central Louisiana. And so what's funny is I remember there was a cop, there's a patrol car on the side of the road, and I slowed down to make sure we weren't speeding, but they didn't move. But there was like something that was marked off on a perimeter, and there's like a little American flag next to it. And then when we passed it up and the cop didn't move, we're like, wait, Darren and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, that was some debris, wasn't it? So yeah, it was really surreal. And of course, very sad because that was not long after that anniversary for Challenger. So, we were just thinking about that, and then, we lost another one. So there's a generation of us that have a lot of love in our hearts for the old space shuttle.
Yeah.
But oh my God! Late Gen X also watched Watership Down. So there's that shaping our young minds. You know what? Darren and I sat down and watched that the other night. He had never seen it before. And so now you know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it'll make you scared of rabbits. So Lisa, what I'm going to do is, because we've got the Discord cookies and Sarcastic, I'm sure you want one too. Let me get some of these other ones first, and then I'll get get you guys in a minute. So I'll scroll back because we've got Lisa G and Aloni. Because we're running kind of long this time, but I really appreciate everyone hanging in there. And don't worry, if we run out, I've got some more in the box. Yes, the 1978 animated feature Watership Down. It's on, what do we watch it on?
Max.
Yeah, it's on Max. If you haven't seen that, like I said, it's based on a book. It's good if you're an adult. But don't let the kids watch it. It'll make you scared of rabbits. Lisa G, this month, embrace change as a positive force in your life. This month, embrace change as a positive force in your life. And I think that might be starting to form a theme. Let's keep going and see. Aloni. Here we are. Aloni, and hopefully I'm saying that right. Ride the waves to success. And this is a really interesting theme because, you have that, embrace the change, and then our one for everybody. Today's small steps lead to big achievements.
You realize when you take that and everything that's been said tonight, and you take everything that's been said over the last couple of weeks, there is a positive thunderball building.
Yeah. Have faith. We don't know what's going to happen, but something could change all of a sudden that could be for the better, and sometimes blessings come in disguise.
Yeah.
So Kyle Hinahosa asking for one from Hathor.
And remember, the one thing no one can take from you is hope. You have to give that away.
Yeah, that's true. So wisdom from Hathor. And this one came. Oh wow! Kyle Hinahosa, you got 2 of them in one cookie. So Hathor decided to give you some voicemail. First one. Teach yourself by exploring the old and deducing the new. Second one. Mondays hold the promise of new beginnings. Embrace them eagerly. So instead of complaining about Mondays hold the promise of new beginnings. Embrace them eagerly. Teach yourself by exploring the old and deducing the new. Okay, so Laurel Karakish, and then Kit Fox. So Laurel. Thursday will bring you a sense of peace and tranquility. Thursday will bring you a sense of peace and tranquility. So look ahead to Thursday. So Laurel, that was for you. Kit Fox. And hugs for Isadora. And you might find it fun that we have our duck in a portable playpen, like one of those cheap ones that you get and that folds. If you do it right, it folds together. And we were just thinking, well, if anybody visits with kids, they can hang out with the duck. Kid Fox, action is the basis of success. Action is the basis of success. So again, adding to this theme, because it's saying that there is positive, but do. Make yourself ready for those good things to come. B, And I know you'd asked for some advice, B. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, see if I missed it, because and by the way, thank you for the super stickers, guys.
We need them desperately.
Yeah. Oh, we love you for that. Okay. Steelers Nation. How are y'all doing tonight from the frozen Steel City? Yeah, I bet you guys are pretty cold up there. Oh, and Lisa, this is your. I was kind of wondering, but welcome. Thank you. For being with us. This is your first time. And yeah, I know it's an hour, so if there are folks that need to go on ahead and call it a night, we thank you for hanging in there. Okay, B says, I love space. Hoping to visit Kennedy Space Center for a party they're hosting under the stars next month. Oh, that sounds awesome. Do some stargazing for us.
Yeah, I wish I could go.
Yeah.
They're friends I would visit.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute. Ashley, you say your BFF at the time was actually there in person on a field trip for Columbia or for Challenger? Because either way, that had to be
gut wrenching.
Yeah. But yeah. B, if you don't mind, tell us what advice that you need, or if it was for the cookie. Let's start with that. And then Errol B wants one from Bast, but how I can help others without burning out.
Say no.
Yeah. Well, first let's get B, and we're glad to have you. Yeah, it's okay if people need to take breaks. That happens to all of us. Okay, many possibilities are open to you. Work a little harder. So B, many possibilities are open to you. Work a little harder. And again, that's that theme that we have. Don't slack off now. Opportunities are on the horizon, but you've got to be ready for them. Okay, Irelbi that's from Bast. And I think Mary Dwefowet had asked for one, and I know it's getting kind of late, so let's go ahead and catch up. Because I know where you are, it's really late. But Irelbi, prioritize self-care. It's a lifeline for your mental health.
Amen.
Well,
we
funny,
all
you
need to be doing some of that.
Yeah, well, it's funny you asked, how do I help others without burning out?
That's how.
Prioritize self-care. It's a lifeline for your mental health.
You cannot give to others unless your batteries are positively charged.
Yeah. So and that's surprisingly direct. We don't often get those, but Bass just told you. So take that to heart. Prioritize self-care.
And if they're telling you that directly, that means you need it.
Yeah. Yes, you can't help others. I mean, isn't it? What don't they say when you go on an airline and they instruct you about using the oxygen or whatever, they say
before helping somebody else put their mask on, put yours on.
Yeah. Okay, so Mary Dwefowet and then One Eye. Mary Dwefowet from the Jackals. Learn to adapt to the challenges of an ever-changing world. So marriage Wadjyt, learn to adapt to the challenges of an ever-changing world. Okay, and now for one eye. And it's funny, we have two left, so it's going to be, yes, one of those two. And like I said, I can get some more, because I know we've still got the Discord cookies to do. I'll do those at the tail end to make sure that, we don't keep anyone waiting too long. Anticipate a joyful reunion with a loved one. So one eye, anticipate a joyful reunion with a loved one. Okay, and then Gabriel. Anything from the gods? It's been a while since I prayed to them. Okay, and then all right. So this last one is for you, Gabriel, and then we'll restock the basket. So Gabriel, to be joyful is to find happiness in the simple pleasures of life. To be joyful is to find happiness in the simple pleasures of life. So yeah, you don't have to go all out. Find happiness in the simple pleasures of life, and that is joy. And it's funny, the thought that I had is, what's the prayer? Ra proceeds daily in joy, while the serpent is felled. I immediately thought of that. So I think that's their way of saying, what gives us joy is, being the gods is when, those of us who are their followers are enjoying the simple pleasures of being alive. Happiness in the simple pleasures of life. So there you go, Gabriel. Okay. Let's see. Oh, goodness. Okay, so you're saying, Katie, that your hubby needs help getting on SSI. See if you can message one of us, Darren's not on Discord or anything like that, but just see if you can message me on Discord. I might be able to offer a little bit of advice if he's tried and is having any difficulty with that, because there's a trick to it. Oh, that's really sweet. So, Nathaniel, are you are you a teacher? Because Nathaniel's saying, I was thinking of having a little memorial for the Challenger in my classroom, since I want to make mine space mission themed.
Be careful of long-standing memorials.
Well, if you make something educational about the Challenger and the Columbia, that I think could be a really, you could make it something useful and talk about, the sacrifices that have been made in the space race. And especially now, because you have people launching rockets and having them blow up in the stratosphere and coming up with really crazy names for it. What was it? A rapid unscheduled disassembly. Dude, the rocket blew up and the parts fell over Turks and Caicos. It's a good thing nobody was on that thing. And it's funny, the space race has gone from, government funded to private. And while that can be good, they had best take heed from the lessons and the sacrifices of those that we were just talking about, so that their sacrifice was not in vain. So there's a way to make it something relevant, even now. But. Oh, Spicy Phoenix. Okay. And Tamir, bless you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Supplication to Djehuty as patron of medicine and physicians for the health of my family and myself. Absolutely. Let's. You know what? And Gabriel's saying, thank you for the fortune. I appreciate it, even though I haven't prayed to the gods in a while. I still carry them in my heart. That's what matters. Especially as my path grows and gets more and more farther from them. What I've found is that even if you come back to them after a long time, it feels like a long time for us, but for them, it's like we never left. And think about, time, on their scale. A lifetime for us is not as long for them. So they're patient. If it's been a minute, they understand. And if you have a connection, time and day to day is busyness is not going to get in the way of that. So I hear that sometimes from people. They ask about, oh, well, it's been so long. I haven't done a ritual in so long, whatever. Don't worry about that. They're patient and they're understanding. And if you're theirs, then, it's like any other child. They're going to open their arms and say, hey, welcome home. Are you hungry? What can I do for you? That's just how they are. So let's wrap up those fortunes. Because we need to get our let's see, sarcastic, and then who else was down here? Spicy Phoenix from Anapu. Okay, and all right. So give me just a second because I got to get the big box. So. Okay. Oh, well, you know what? One of them just kind of made their way out here. So, this one, tell you what, Spicy Phoenix, this one is yours from Monofood. And then we'll back up to our Discord folks. I don't know if I can get this one open. There we go. Oh, you're joking. Spicy Phoenix, you got the empty cookie. I get a sense that Anapu is kind of playing with you a little bit, but also figures, whatever it is,
You know the answer.
Yeah. So, okay, our Discord cookies were for Konsu Cat and then Sean. One and one from Osiris. So we'll start with Konsu. For Konsu Cat, don't be too hard on yourself. We all make mistakes. So make sure to pass that on to them. Don't be too hard on yourself. We all make mistakes. And then from Sean asking for Osiris. being a little cryptic. There we go. Take care of your relationships. They are the mirrors of your heart. So that was for someone. Take care of your relationships. They are the mirrors of your heart. And last one is for sarcastic. If anybody else has any other requests, put those up there. Because after this, we're going to wrap it up. And again, thank you guys for tuning in with us. Because I know this one went a little long, but hopefully it was worth it. Sarcastic. Your luck will bring you joy and fulfillment in your career. Your luck will bring you joy and fulfillment in your career. Yes, and supplication to Djehuty, patron of medicine and physicians, and Cozy Kitsu. Yes, Kemetic ritual. Yeah. Well, hi, Cozy Kitsu. Okay, and Steelers Nation, I applied for a firefighter paramedic position with the Kennedy Space Center years ago. There were 150 applications for 5 positions. Wow. That's really cool that you applied. Sorry you didn't get it, but that's. I hope you found something else cool. But I know what I'm doing. Never figure out. Well, we're glad to have you, Lisa, and Cozy Kitsu, just to kind of bring you up to speed on what we're doing. We honor different deities every week. It kind of depends on what we have information for, because there were feast days for different deities, throughout the country of Egypt, throughout the calendar. And so we look and say, well, what's closest to, this Friday? Because we do it all on Fridays. And so you have closest to today of Going Forth of Djehuty, aka Thoth, and a feast day for Wadjyt, who is, the cobra on the pharaoh's headdress. That's Wadjyt. And her, patron city was in the Delta. It's called Buto, in Greek. It was a twin city, kind of like Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Raleigh, Durham. You had Pei and Dep, and together they made, the hometown of Wadjyt. So when we read our making the offerings endure at the end, we invoke, Pei and Dep, and Wadjyt and Horus, as patrons of that area. And of course, we were doing our fortunes, and any other prayer requests. And since it's funny, we started talking about the 2 historical shuttle disasters. Some of us on this that are watching this are old enough to remember, seeing and hearing about it firsthand. And the anniversary for that is coming up. And, it's funny. One of the things that we do is we honor the blessed dead. And so I guess maybe they're letting us know that they know that they've been thought about. Especially because, as I was, mentioning earlier, Darren met the shuttle commander for the Challenger mission at Space Center Houston the summer before. And so you want to talk about being distressed, hearing about the news of the Challenger. Darren was more so than most people. And me, there was somebody from NASA that had come and given a presentation at our school, and I thought it was one of the folks that was on Challenger, so I was really sad about that. It turns out it was somebody different. But at that point in time, I was, a kid and thinking, oh, well, we're all going to be going to space one day. And after that, I was like, no, it's not safe. But I love stargazing, and it's funny right now. The constellation Orion is very high in the sky, and of course the Egyptians associated Orion with Osiris, and the dog star, the constellation that we call Canis Major, that's where Sirius is, and Sirius is Sopdet, which is connected to Isis, and that's the star that marks the new year, on the Kemetic calendar. So, the more you know. Yeah, and the funny thing is with the alignments, and I'm gonna have to find out if anybody on the Sumerian groups that I'm on knows about Babylonian astrology, because when different planets are aligned with different constellations, that could be foreboding of either good or ill on their records, and so I kind of wonder if some of these alignments that you have going on, because Mars is next to Gemini and you have Jupiter next to Taurus, and Saturn is in Aquarius, and I don't know what that means. Astrology, modern astrology is not my bag. I only know like 5 or 6 things about Babylonian astrology, but I kind of wonder if there's anything foreboding going on with that. So I'm just throwing it out there. If anybody knows anyone who knows about that, send them our way. But yeah, okay. So a lot of you guys are close to my age, because I was in 3rd grade when that happened. And I think, Darren, what grade were you in? You were in 6th grade? Yeah. 5th grade. Okay. So Lisa, you're my husband's age. So, oh, and you know what? His birthday is next month, so we have to figure out what we're doing for him. So, but in the meantime, and I will pass on that's a supplication to Djehuty. He's a patron of medicine and patron of science, and may he protect all of those who do his work as doctors, as scientists, as people who are concerned about the public health. So. Hail unto you, Atum. Hail unto you, Capri. You come into being upon the primeval hill. You shine forth upon the shrine of the phoenix in Yunu. You breathe out Shu and Tefnut. May the giving of these offerings endure, as the name of Atum, foremost of the great in need, endures. May they endure as the name of Shu, Lord of Upper Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Tefnut, Mistress of Lower Menset in Yunu, endures. As the name of Geb at the Earth's Ba endures. As the name of Nut in the Shrine of Shanit in Yunu, endures. As the name of Osir, Kentiamentiu, endures. As the name of Aset in Nicheru endures. As the name of Sutek in Nubet endures. As the name of Horus in Pe endures. As the name of Wadjyt in Dep endures. As the name of Djehuty in Kemenu endures. As the name of Ra in the Akhet endures likewise for eternity. You have come in peace, O Ra. You have come in peace, O Wadjyt, O Djehuty. You have come in peace, O Yanachru. May you go forth in peace, O Ra, Wadjyt, Djehuty. May you go forth in peace, O Yanachru, to every place your immortal cause wish to be. May you sail in joy in the Wadjyt bark, and rest content in the Sektet bark. And may you smile upon us, your humble servants. All righty. Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to Babylonian astrology, there is a book that I have that is, I don't know, the thing is, I can tell that the gentleman that wrote it did a lot of research, but there's a lot of other stuff that he puts out that I think it's an educated conjecture, but I'm like, well, I've not knowing very much to begin with, I'm I have to take some of it with a grain of salt. But the book is called Babylonian Star Lore, and like some of the things he compares some things actually with the zodiac of Dendera, which that's our bag as Chemetics, because that's the astronomical ceiling from the Temple of Dendera. But some of the things that he describes in there, like he cites a myth, and he kind of gets some of it wrong, because there's talking about Hathor being the cow and then swallowing Horus every night. And it's like, well, okay, not quite, because that's Ra and the sun bark, then that's like I said, but it's something to start with. So, if you're interested, like I said, just look up Babylonian Star Lore. So. Okay, yeah. So Steele says you're a paramedic in Pittsburgh. I bet you have lots of fun stories to tell. Oh, and Nathaniel wants a cookie from Heru. Well, you know what? Funny thing, I noticed one right here on the floor. So Nathaniel, I think Heru saw your request and kind of threw that one down there for you. So. Embrace uncertainty. It leads to discovery. So, Nathaniel, embrace uncertainty. It leads to discovery. Don't worry about what the reviews say, just try it. Because I swear, I know so many people that, they don't want to do anything unless they've read reviews online. And what's really crazy is now you're getting these AI overviews of people's reviews. And the problem is they're taking like all the good ones and all the bad ones. So you're getting a totally milquetoast answer. Hetero's telling you, just try it. Embrace the uncertainty. It leads to discovery. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. So we're so glad. that you spent your evening with us. It's much love to all of you.
Everybody stay safe.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Yeah, have a great weekend. A safe week. Come join us next Friday. All right. Thank you so much, guys. it's funny. I can kind of tell when things are done in AI, but because it tends to be really milk toast. But but yeah, it can trip up a lot of people. I know. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we do this 8:30 to 8:45 is when we get started, and it tends to run about an hour 15 minutes thereabouts. So we ran a little long this time, an hour and a half, but hey, we managed to catch some new folks. So
and sometimes we run later than that window, but of 8:30.
Oh, that's nice. Nathaniel, I've worked with AI for months. My students can't get away with it. Yeah, don't let them do that, because people have got to learn how to express their own thoughts. If we lose that, that's Djehuty would be very upset. If people lost the ability to write down their own thoughts. So. Thank you guys so much, and we love you, and I hate to call it a night, but we gotta. You can tell by paragraph 1, instant F, quick and breezy. Eat them up, Nathaniel. Thank you for helping people keep it real, and we love you guys.